Hey everybody, this is Adam the Eclectic Gamer, trying one of my first recordings of League of Legends game. I've been playing for a little while here, so I'm level 23, just getting started. I'm still trying to learn a bunch of new champions, but I figured, hey, if you've never played before, maybe this will be helpful, and if you haven't played before, maybe you can give me some advice. Anyway, my team here had one of those disagreements where a bunch of people called top and no one wanted to back down, so hopefully I'll have someone I'm actually laning with down here as a support. But we'll see about that, I guess. I guess that happens a lot. I mean, none of them like locked in immediately, but they both called top. I think they both saw that they were first, because of latency or whatever. But so now they wanted to back down. But I guess we'll see what happens. Looks like our Shen did maybe disconnected. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, I've been playing a lot of support, mainly because I don't want to get into that big fight calling calling a certain role or whatever. And then have people get into a fight about it. So I basically say, hey, I'll play whatever you want. And I have a handful of champions for each one. So people couldn't decide, but so I went with the support. I've been liking Thresh. I've been trying to get used to his skill shot hook. It's hard to land sometimes, but it can really be a blast when you can totally lock someone down. Anyway, I guess no one's coming with me. Normally I would just dodge out of this, but not sure what to do here. Alright, looks like Shen has reconnected, so hopefully I will have a laning partner. I'm basically just going to try to hang out down here and get the XP from these minion kills when they kill each other. If you don't know, you do get XP as long as you're in a certain range of a minion killed, even if you don't do anything. So hopefully this will allow something to happen. Anyway, I played a lot of Sona as my support just to start. And so Thresh is a lot different. Sona, you're concentrating a lot on sustaining in the lane, helping your partner survive. In this, it's really a lot of setting up, a lot of damage. So getting used to it, and then it's one of the first times I had to do called a skill shot, meaning you don't target an enemy unit or champion. You just target a space, and if it hits a champion on the way, then it succeeds and has whatever effect it is. In this case, Thresh's hook pulls you and the other champion together, which theoretically can set up a kill pretty easily. This is going to be pretty rough anyway, because we are again 2 melee champions versus 2 ranged champions. Ezreal, who's super long range with his teleporting and his long range skill shots, so I think we're pretty screwed here. Also, I'm not the greatest at this, so we'll see what happens. But with Shen also being melee, it's a pretty rough matchup. But whenever something like that happens, especially at this low skill level or low level, it's best just to kind of play it out and see if they can make a mistake. You can actually, a lot of times you can pull something out just because they make a silly mistake. So that's what I'm going for. Oh. Oh yeah, Volbear came down to help out. Very useful. But nice. Anyway, my main concern here is trying to land a hook whenever I get a chance. Hopefully we can then put a lot of damage on someone. Also trying to get all these wards out so my team can, so we don't get ambushed too frequently. It looks like they are playing with a jungler. I'm kind of at that level where the very beginning, everyone jungling is kind of difficult, and players can't really do it very well, and so I usually end up having two characters top, two champions top, instead of having someone in the jungle. I'm moving into that lane with the matchmaking that seems like it's we're actually starting to have junglers now, like regularly, as opposed to just occasionally when people want to try it out. That's another role I get locked into frequently, just because a lot of times people are concentrating on some other role because it's sort of, like I said, it's sort of difficult to do. So people kind of shy away from it. Out of the way, over there. Hey, we're actually winning. Like I said, even though it seemed like we were in trouble with people not wanting to actually, no one wanting to come down and play attack damage, which is pretty odd, actually. Like I said, just stick with it. If you have decent players, you can. They make mistakes, you can just you can weather it pretty well. I always forget, like, I always want to up my hook because it's like the most used skill I have. Like, I could get better about you gotta kill. Sport. I gotta get better about actually using my lantern appropriately and throwing it in the right spot. I guess it's a little hard to get used to. The other thing that's a little difficult is my E. It's a skill shot, but you don't actually click where you're aiming. So if I want to throw everyone backward, I have to aim behind me, and so the person I might actually be trying to throw is in front of me. So you basically have to aim, sort of the opposite angle from where you are, which is very odd. Very difficult to do right. So, trying to work on it, but we'll see how it goes. So this is working pretty well. I'm gonna go back here, pick up the sight stone, so I don't have to deal with that, and pick up a few more health potions because Thresh doesn't really help people sustain in the lane very well, and doesn't do super well himself. You can grab the mana as well because I was starting to run out there. As I've been playing, the thing I've been learning more and more is I almost always get killed by being too aggressive, trying to jump into combat, trying to make a kill happen. And the more and more games I've been watching online, I realize I have to stay back, only initiate when I'm positive I can get a kill or set something up, as opposed to just any time when I think, it seems like a good idea. Let's see if we can grab someone here. Oh, missed. I'll throw that ward out so I can't do this anymore. At least you can get them if they try. Ooh, okay, got my ultimate. It's that stupid E skill shot again. Slow him down a little bit. Maybe Shen can pick that kill up. Also, when I started playing, immediately I would go back to base when I was down to like a third of hit points. I mean, and sometimes that's definitely necessary if stuff's starting to get real, but a lot of times you can sustain for a lot longer than you get used to how long you can actually stay in the lane and be relatively safe. Again, something I'm getting used to, and because every time you go back to base, you're losing experience from the minions. You're losing. Oh, as a support, you're not actually getting the gold, but you're sort of losing. You're losing any gold you might pick up randomly. And so I can lure him back here. Nice. No, I'm gonna die. Why are you going back to base when I'm gonna die? I could have gotten. Oh, he must have. Just, I I'm not very familiar with Shen, so yeah, it worked out okay. Took out their Ezreal. Even just trading their Ezreal for me is a bonus. Or, no, it's a decent trade. So now that I'm finally gonna get some boots, cause Thresh is so slow. So slow. Alright. I haven't totally thrown this game yet. Sometimes, especially with Thresh being so slow, if I get caught in some stuns or some slows, I'll just die 2 or 3 times immediately. And then just totally letting my team down, giving kills to whoever their attack damage carry is. Now I'm done here by myself, I can actually get these last hits. So we're still sitting at 7 kills to 7. I'm feeling pretty good about my line since died once, actually got a kill, but I've assisted 3 kills, so it's kind of what I'm supposed to do as the support, right? We need to back up. Taking all these minion hits is not for the win. Let's see if I can get over here and grab someone. Oh, died. Yeah, that was that's definitely an example of where I get aggressive, move up. Even my health bar starts getting really low. I don't back off when I should, and stuff starts going south fast. And let's go ahead and pick up Ruby Sidestones. We can have a couple more wards out, since that's my goal, right? Our top lane seems to be getting a little angry about something. Not sure what's going on there. That's always funny, though. Anyway, we've been holding this lane pretty well. We haven't really gotten any damage on their turret, and ours is going down a little bit. But it's not the end of the world. That is the problem with Thresh. You sort of live and die by those hook shots. While other champions, like, if you your attacks don't miss as often because you can actually target them, but if you miss the hook, you get nothing out of the character. It's just so it's like very feast or famine. I'm gonna set up these wards, cut off all their sneaking. Yeah, so Thresh is more interesting because he gets to play a little more active role as a support as opposed to just kind of sitting there and providing buffs or debuffs. Not that that's boring, but yeah, like Sona's fun, but I said a lot of the time all you're doing is, you know, hang in the back, poking them a little bit, throwing out heals. I mean, her ultimate's fun. It's pretty active. There we go. Finally got the combo in. Landed the hook. Then when you land the hook, you throw them back. If you're not going to kill them, you can throw your box down. It's called the box. It is called the box. I thought I was making that up for a minute. Also, getting the souls is weird for Thresh, because a lot of times I'll go up to get a soul when I'm like, when it's going to get me killed, and I just really shouldn't do that. But it's hard to resist sometimes. Take this turn down, alright. Accomplishing things. Let's throw another ward down here in the tri-bush. I think that's what people call it. Oh, Ziggs those bombs. I have never really played against Ziggs. This is sort of a new experience. I don't think he's considered terribly top tier, but you know, new things can always surprise you, and often do. Now I need to run. I thought I threw it on my box. Must have run out of mana. I got a kill. Maybe I should let him have that, but whew, that was close. 70 hit points. Alright, I don't think they're around anymore, so I can go in and pick up some of these souls. And then I'll go back. Oh, siege minion. Taking a shot at me. We have the ward here, so maybe we'll throw those down before I leave. Oh, I'd have 3 at a time out with the pink ward? With the ruby sightstone? Yeah. Thresh is doing pretty well. We are up on kills. We are up on turrets. Yep, we have 1. They have none. And I have not thrown the game away at all, which is important. So I'd like to do like building this because it helps the team out. And, you know, I'm not going to do anything. So Ezreal's throwing out a lot of physical damage, so magic resistance isn't as important. We can grab this. Alright, mana, you have not really been that big a deal. Get rid of these because we already have our wards. Again, I've really not done as much research as I need to have done on what to do with all the items. I kind of usually stick with the recommended stuff. I think once I get a little more experience with each of the characters, I can go through some of the guides online and figure out which items really work well for me and which ones I'm just kind of playing along with. I also need to figure out sort of the interaction between... Ooh, another enemy turret down. Throwing down wards, because all the normal wards you get and the wards you get from these sightstones are invisible, but they don't see invisible wards. So if I really want, so you have to either buy the pink ward that can see invisible things, or you have to get the Oracle Sightstone, which I'm not terribly used to. So I need to sort of figure out the deal with that. Back up, Shen. Can only do so much saving of you. Ooh, missed him. Again, missing the hooks. Oh, there, Volibear. Oh. Yep, and all the tossbacks. Don't waste my ultimate. It's not going to help. I play Volibear as my jungler usually, so I should be used to this, but alas. Did Shane get out? At least Shane got out. Well, he better get out. No, he didn't. Yeah, that's another thing I need to do is once those towers get down super low, you can't stick around as much anymore. I have a big problem with that. Onward. Oof. I take down 2 turrets? That's not cool. Oh, and Volibear went down. Oof. Yeah, things can turn very quickly when you get ganged up on. I feel like I see that happening to me, but I don't know how to make that happen to other teams, unfortunately. And I can't do anything by myself because I'm a lowly support. siege minion. Another thing I gotta get used to is, I mean, it makes sense why the support shouldn't kill anything. I mean, they need a little bit of gold, but they don't need nearly as much gold as other characters. But if you stop moving, then you sort of auto attack, which you kind of want, because you can hit S to make it stop auto attacking. But when you get into a team fight, you don't want that. You want to make sure you're getting any damage out that you can. It's all very confusing. So, like I said, if you are an experienced League of Legends player, or even, only as experienced as I am, and you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. I'm always trying to learn and get better. Or if you are very inexperienced and you don't feel like asking, feel embarrassed about asking people with a lot of experience, go ahead and ask me. I've been trying to do a lot of research and doing my best to learn. Obviously, I don't know everything, but I know what I know. Back. Maybe I can hop out. Ooh. Shen using his ults to abandon me. So I can grab this Jace. No, he's out. In the face. I gotta learn to dodge those skill shots better. I also have that problem with Thresh where I will grab someone, but it really just helps the other team, and I pull them into a position to kill my teammates. Definitely got to be careful about that. And hurting me. Oh, Ezreal ultimate from downtown. Anyway, these are some of the things I'm working on with Thresh. He is sort of difficult to play, but there's like a really high reward for doing it well, so it's pretty exciting. So, like I said, usually I have been trying to, just play whatever role other people don't want, just because I don't want to get involved in all the fighting and arguing and who called what first, because that's not even, you can't even figure that out because people receive the messages at different times on their computers. So, like I said, for support, I've been trying to do more Thresh. I played a little Sona. I got Soraka, but I just really don't like her. Then I'd like to actually try Blitzcrank, because throwing the hooks is fun, but his is sort of a different effect. You don't stun them as much, but you pull them all the way to you, and you don't pull yourself forward. So sort of just a different interaction. I think now that I've gotten used to Thresh a little bit, I think it would I'd be able to get used to it. I tried him once on one of the free weeks, and it did not work very well. Or I didn't play him very well, that is. So then, when I go attack damage, I picked up Tristana, who I actually really like. Although she is, very squishy. She's got some escapes, which is nice, but you can only do so much. I tried Miss Fortune originally because I really liked the way she, like the theme with the two pistols is really cool. But I've been having a hard time playing her. Her poke doesn't actually do that much damage. So she can't really poke the enemy champions down. So like I said, it's kind of feel like she's not great at any one thing. I actually got Ezreal, who's a blast to play. Again, lots of skill shots, so you gotta, you know, if you can do well with it, you can do really well with it. And I want to pick up Caitlyn again. I played again. She's one of the ones I played one of the free weeks, and she was fun, but I felt like I didn't know enough when I played her to actually get the most out of her. So I feel like now that I've played for a little while longer, I'll get a little more. That being said, what else do I play? For mid has been my hardest one. Mid and top, because I feel like everything's super squishy, and I haven't quite gotten the hang of it. I recently played Kennen, who I really like. He's fun. I think you can play him mid or you can play him mid or top, so that works out well. I really like playing Pantheon, just sort of as a fun champion, but I've gotten the feeling that he can do really well early game, just because you can really poke down, do a lot of damage to champions with your spear early. But then sort of late game he'll lose a little bit. Melee champions sort of have to have some sort of gimmick to be able to work well. His works early game, but doesn't do enough damage late game to make up for the fact that you have to get right up in there. Oh, hopefully I can make it out of this in time. That was one of those times when, again, should have just made it out. Got to get used to doing that properly. But looks like I made it. I had to flash, but it worked out well. So I'm sort of okay with my score up here, 3, 4, and 9. I'm a support. I'm not supposed to get any of the kills. 3 might be too many. But that's okay. Let's move a little faster because we're just so slow. Again, I kind of pick whatever seems useful at the time. I kind of have an idea of what is good, what is useful and how useful it is. But I don't have I feel like the really good players have a strict idea of what they're going to get and when. I don't quite have that yet. Oh, okay. Everyone seems to be dying. That's also my problem as a support. Like when I'm sort of alone, I don't know where to go. I don't, I don't have any kind of rhyme or reason to where I should be, because I can't really do that much damage by myself. So I need to have someone to support. So it gets to this. I kind of just tool around until I wait for someone to come out. We will wait for Shin here. Oh, he's getting ganged up on. I don't think I can save him. Oh, Shin's going in though, so maybe it'll work out. Karen's coming. I'm on my way. Biz is on his way too. Oh, Shin bit it. I guess 2 of us, not enough. All right, I'm not going in there without you. Everyone's here now. Anyway, this is a nice, long, pretty even game. I feel like I haven't had those in a while. So it's sort of nice. That box was wholly unnecessary, but I'd rather throw it down and get the kill than miss it. I feel like that's another thing with a lot of my ultimates for my champions. I end up just like sitting on my ultimate for a long time because I'm waiting for the ideal time to use it, and then it sort of never comes, and I get to the point where by the time I use it, I could have used it in a frivolous case, but and then had it back in time to actually use it, but I just got too scared. All right, I'm getting some good kills here. Oh, I know. Here's where we're going to push mid, try to get up some of these towers. I'll hang out with people. Provide support. That's my job, right? Yeah, anyway, I was talking about how mid, I picked up Twisted Fate because he was pretty cheap IP-wise, and so he was a fun one to grab. Oh, this is one of those times when I go in too hard. Let's get the hell out of here. Anyway, so so I've been playing Twisted Fate mid. He's kind of fun. He can kind of teleport like Pantheon, which is nice. You get an extra gold. He's been sort of an interesting one to play just because I never know quite. I have to keep my eyes on the card he's picking and who I'm attacking and what's going on. So that's always very interesting to try to get organized, and I'm still working on that. Working on a lot of champions, but I guess that's the downfall of not playing one champion. I have a friend who plays, and he only plays Sona. That's it. I don't know what he does with all his IP after he's gotten all his runes and everything, but that's the only champion he played. And then I made a joke that he's going to be in trouble when he gets to ranked because you're required to have 16 champions just due to the ban process. And how it works, the picks and bans. So it was pretty funny. He's kind of upset that it's like, it means you can't really master one champion. It's like, I was kind of like that. So like when playing War Machine, I like when character restrictions came around. That was I want to say that was in Steamroller 2013. They basically said you have your multiple lists, but you can't use the same character in multiple armies, and that included your Warcaster. So a lot of people got upset that because that meant they had my multiple lists. But to me, it just meant you had to be good at more than one thing. You couldn't just ride a one-trick pony all the way around. That's the purpose of bans. So I'm a fan. But I haven't really gotten much into like the process. I played my first game with actual picks and bans today. I was interested in how it worked, but it was fun. It actually kind of forced people to talk a little more about what roles they were going to take, which was nice. As opposed to just saying what they're going to do and being done. No, do not target Volibear. Ooh. And we'll throw the box down and get plenty of people like that. And I'm going to die, but that's okay. That's part of my job. That's the other interesting thing about Thresh is he's very tanky. So when you play Sona or someone a little squishier, you can really take a couple hits when you're playing. Thresh just has, especially when you get the sight stones, which give you extra health. He has a really good chunk of health to be able to, to be able to survive. Which is just nice to not have to stress about that. Some cooldown reduction. Actually, throw more hooks out. The trade worked pretty well. 3 for 4. We got their turret to start it off. I think we seem to be doing pretty well here. And the team's working all together, which is a pain. I played a game earlier where it was 4 versus 5 the whole time, and we did surprisingly well with 4 people, but you can only go so far. This isn't a steamroll either way, which happens sometimes. Someone gets way too aggressive, or misclicks and they dive in a couple times, killing themselves, and then it just snowballs. feel like that happens with this game a bunch, since if you die a couple times, not only do you lose all the experience and everything from being killed, but there's also the issue of they get better while you get worse, and it just sort of snowballs both ways. The equalizing factor isn't as great as you might like. All right. All right. 1-4-3 so far. Well, Jace is there. He's gonna start lobbing bombs. Hook through the wall. When he shoots at us, why not? Go Shen. Nice. The fun thing about the souls are interesting because they feel like they're definitely a late game play. You end up with about 5 per level if you're, I have when I've been playing what I think has been playing well, and lagging out a little bit here. Why am I stuck? Oh, disconnected. That would do it. Okay. No. Oh. Disconnected again. What's going on here? Right. Hopefully that won't last very long. That wasn't the end of the world. Shen got that turret. We got the middle turret pushing up pretty well. So again, I'm trying to learn all of the champions. It's interesting. You need to get used to all the champions, both so that you know what your teammates' capabilities are, and so you know that what the opponents can do, so they don't totally destroy you. And so could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Shen's saying I can push by myself because his ultimate allows him to teleport to where another teammate is on the map, so he can push, and then if he gets in trouble, he can just teleport out. I think that's the idea. So obviously in the beginning we were trying to, I needed someone to lane with. But that was the idea. I'll go up with them. They're trying to get Baron here. And again, I sort of, at the skill level I'm at, the Baron buff only means so much. And a lot of times people just die anyway. Like, even if we have the Baron buff, if you play poorly, it's just not going to work. Oh, he's trying to steal it. So is Jace. Ooh, no. Not sure who got what there, other than I got dead. Oh. And that's the danger of trying to steal Baron. You take a bunch of damage, and they take it out. Oh, that's why we're doing so well, because Teemo disconnected. Hasn't played since level 1, which means we're doing terribly. But yeah, again, at the level I'm playing at, 4 good players against 5 less good players, it can still be a fair fight. Our team is very upset. But understandably so. It's a big risk. Oh, big minion wave. and that's why a lot of teams will completely shy away from doing Baron, even if you think you think you're far enough ahead, just because that's the thing that can turn the game. I can't really do this by myself, guys. Can I get a little help? Alright, so now I'm going to be embarrassed if we lose, because it's 4 versus 5. Oh, we're doing so well, too. Right. I'm just going to eat this minefield. For everybody. Oh! Fizz's ultimate is so silly. Don't target Volibear. What do they want? Ah, stupid hook. Can't hit it to save my life. Oh, I don't know why they're going after me. But, yeah. They do have more kills now, so who am I to judge? I was out of position. But we're up to that point in the game when you have to sit out for a whole minute when you die. Get a Fizz. Oh, we got this. Alright, finally. Nice, go Sham. Except for the Zanyas. Let's pick up that. I'll put teammates out. Shouldn't have a Zanya's Hourglass. Oh no, the Guardian Angel. Yeah, getting used to all these items. Everyone's excited, but I don't have the heart to tell them that we're playing 4v5 and losing. This is the first recorded video. I feel like I can't even throw it away now, even though it's embarrassing. But that's okay. Teemo in now? Well, it's going to be a detriment to them. Just going to give away kills. Alright, going by myself. That's a good rule. I'm going to die. Teleporting out. I have a lot of random buffs on me. Let's go back to base. Better safe than sorry. Not a whole lot to buy. Sure, don't buy our cape when that comes up. Sure, we'll go for the dragon. Team was up to level 3. He must have saved all his gold from not playing. That's funny. Let's a little fight with the dragon. It's okay. We got the tank. Again, one of those things like I know we should not be targeting the tank, but if he's good, it's kind of hard not to. And I can only do so much without the team doing it as well. Alright, can we... Alright, you can just go up by yourself. That's fine. Alrighty. Oh. Taking some hits. Get out the way. We can push down this inhibitor now. Oh, need to get out. Again, at this point, I'm sort of I feel like as a support, you can only, you can only go where your team takes you. You can't initiate or do a lot of damage by yourself, so yeah, it's sort of a problem. But I also should not be so risky. This is going way longer than it should. Poor Timo. We're all 18. I don't normally get to level 18. Alright, whole team's back up. Hopefully we can make a, finally make a push now. Not doing too much damage, but at least I'm buffing my teammates with my boots and my shield and my, my banner. Alright, we'll wait for Fizz and Shen. It's a good idea. Ez is quite hard to catch. As I've been playing him, he's kind of a blast, but yeah, having actually like a teleport as his E ability is awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to throw the lantern out to a place where when they get hit, it will, or like try to throw it where the fight is going to be. It's always kind of difficult. Like sometimes I get people yelling at me that I need to throw it right on another champion, otherwise it's useless. Other people, get mad at me for throwing it too far behind the champions. It's difficult to get right. I'm gonna die. Just get out of here. Alright, looks like we're actually going to win this, but we'll make a poor video, unfortunately. Oh, level 8 Teemo. You are so sad and silly. How much more do I need for this? Yeah, forget it. Let's take the more health. Yeah, I need like 100 more. I do not know if multiple runic bulwarks stack. I should look that up. Anyway, I feel like I'm doing decently well. I have no idea how this would have gone if Teemo was there. You can never tell. It's like if they were terrible, it would actually made their team worse by by providing free kills and whatnot, or even if they just made a couple mistakes. So you can't say it, definitely would have made them better, but chances are having more people is a good thing. I think we can do this. Check that Ziggs. Get all the assists. And grab Polar Bear and throw him back. Can't really do a lot of killing on him directly per se, but hold him up. Grab Jace. And finally, Nexus goes down. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any questions or suggestions, just let me know. I'm open to all kinds of input. Thanks.